guys, today in this video I'm going to be doing a Pretty Little Liars recap and reaction for you, and this is actually going to be on last night's episode. That was the Big A reveal, or the Big A reveal. You know, the moment we have all been waiting for like 5 years, and I was just kind of left being like, what? What is going on? I have no idea. It's just like, now we kind of know who A is, but yet we kind of still don't know who A is. And it kind of still makes me confused and kind of makes me want to cry, and also kind of makes me feel like I'm going to end up in Radley because the show is making me lose my damn mind, but I will get into all that. So like I say in all my other Pretty Little Liars recap and reactions, if you guys don't want any spoilers or you aren't caught up on the new season, then go ahead and click off this video because I will be giving a ton of spoilers. And I will have all my theories at the end of the video, so if you guys are just here and you want to hear theories on what I think is going on and who A actually is, then you can just go ahead and skip to the last few minutes of this video. But if not and you want to hear the recap, then let's just go ahead and get into it. So this episode starts off and it's with the girls and they're in the back of a van. It was the end of Allison's trial. She was found guilty for killing Mona, and the rest of the girls ended up getting arrested right after the verdict was given. And all the girls are in the back of this van getting taken to a different prison. All of a sudden they get into this car accident and there's all this loud noise and they see all this light and hear people screaming, and then all of a sudden the doors to the van open and you see A standing there and they have a gun and they start shooting, and then all this gas goes everywhere and then poof, everybody's gone. So then it flashes to Spencer's parents and Toby is actually telling Spencer's parents that the girls are missing and that they have no idea where they went, but they're keeping it out of the press because they have no idea what's going on. And Spencer's parents automatically think that it's Allison and she's behind this and she's the one who took them. So then it flashes to the girls again and it shows each of the girls and they're waking up in what appears to be their bedrooms, but it's actually like a creepy recreation of each of the girls' bedrooms that they're in, and they're inside this creepy dollhouse made up by A. And then all of a sudden a voice comes over this PA system and it tells the girls to leave their rooms and to go out into the hallway and follow these blinking lights. They follow these lights and they hear somebody playing a piano. So they walk in and they see somebody dressed in Allison's clothes that she was wearing on the original night that she disappeared, that infamous yellow top we have seen so many times in this show. And the girl has blonde hair and she's wearing that creepy doll Allison mask and she's playing the piano, and the girls are just staring at her and they're like, "Allie, is that you?" And then the person grabs the mask and they slowly take the mask off and it was Mona. I was so excited when I saw Mona. I knew Mona was still alive. I think I said that in my last recap that I did, that I had a feeling Mona was going to come back on the show, and I'm so excited she's back. That was probably even more shocking than this whole Big A reveal, was seeing Mona, that she's still alive and she's still on the show. So I love that they brought her back. I was so excited Mona's back. But the girls see Mona and they're all in shock and they're like, holy crap, Mona's still alive, what is going on? And Mona this whole time, she's just talking and saying that she's Allison De Laurentiis. She's just like, guys, it's Allison. It hasn't been that long since you've seen me, blah, 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 blah. And the girls are just like, Mona, have you lost your mind? You are Mona, you are not Allison. Get it through your head, girl. So then it flashes to Toby, Ezra, and Caleb, and they're just all sitting around trying to figure out what happened to the girls and where the van went that the girls were in. They're trying to track it down. And Toby actually has a conversation with Detective Tanner, and Detective Tanner is saying that she thinks that Caleb is actually the one behind the girls missing, and she thinks that Caleb knows where the girls are at and she wants to bring him in for questioning. Then it flashes again and it shows Mona and she's taking the girls into a separate room, and the girls are sitting down and Mona's telling them that it's time to start playing the game. And she pulls out this mystery date game and she says that they need to find out who their date is gonna be. And then she pulls out these invitations from A and she hands them out, and they're actually invitations to a prom that A is holding in this whole creepy make-believe dollhouse that A's got going on here. And Hannah gets really upset and she starts screaming at the little camera that is videotaping them, saying that they better not touch Caleb because she's sticking up for her man and nobody better touch her man. That's right, girl. And then when the girls try to escape, this loud siren goes off and Mona's telling the girls that the siren isn't going to stop until they get back into their rooms in the dollhouse. So then some time passes and it shows that the girls are all sleeping in their creepy make-believe little dollhouse rooms that they got going on. And then Mona comes in and wakes up Hannah, and she tells her that she only has 3 minutes to talk to them and they better hurry up. Mona is telling the girls she knows she's still Mona. So then she's telling the girls that the power in the dollhouse goes out for like 3 minutes every single night, and she's been running around trying to find out an exit to get out of this dollhouse, but it's impossible because the power only shuts off for such a little amount of time that she's never been able to get out. So they start coming up with a plan to try and escape from this creepy dollhouse. So then it flashes back to Spencer's parents, and they're actually at the jail now, and they're questioning Allison on where the girls are because they're convinced that Allison has taken the girls, and she's just like, what do you mean? I have no idea where they are, but I know who took them. And then Allison goes on to tell Spencer's parents that A is back and that she knows that A is the one that took the girls. So then it flashes back to Spencer, and we see Spencer in bed, and I'm pretty sure this whole thing was like a dream sequence she was having, but in Spencer's dream she's actually looking at some blocks that are set up in her creepy recreation of a room, and all these blocks have different letters on them and they keep scrambling around, and then all of a sudden the letters spell out Charles, and then she wakes up and she says it has a name. And I'm just watching this and I'm like, who the heck is Charles? Can somebody please explain this to me? Did I miss something? Was there a long lost character named Charles that I never heard of? I will get into it, but the name of A is Charles. That's what we know now. But the girls are led into another room, and A is actually having them set up for this prom that A is having, and Spencer notices that the prom that A is having them set up for is 7 years ago, the last prom that Melissa took Ian to, and it has the theme The Night at the Opera. Then it flashes back to the guys, and they are all still looking for the girls and where the van actually is, and there's a knock at the door, and it's Spencer's parents, and they let the guys know that Allison told them that A's back and they know what is going on. And then she gets a phone call, and it's actually Melissa. And then the screen kind of pans and we see Mr. Sexy Andrew. I gotta say, I love me some Andrew. That boy is so delicious. I cannot even deal. But it pans to Mr. Sexy Andrew, and he is sitting there with his little like spy equipment, and he's tapping into Spencer's mom's phone call with Melissa, and that's all we see of Andrew in this episode. And I will get into all of my theories on what I think is going on with Andrew at the end, because I have a ton of what I think is going on with Mr. Sexy Andrew, but we will get into it. So then it shows the girls back at the prom setting up, and the girls pick like this fake fight to try and distract A and the cameras to look at Spencer and Emily, while Mona's off in a corner making this weird little contraption camera light bulb thing. Who knows what the heck was going on with that. And then they all get ready to go to the fake prom that A has set up, and shows the girls all walking into this prom, and it's literally the creepiest thing I have ever seen. They walk in and there's just all of these creepy mannequins, and they're all just standing there with these Night at the Opera masks, and oh, it's so creepy. I hate all these doll looking things. I don't like dolls. They creep me out. And Mona comes walking in her dress with the Allison mask on, and she's walking down the stairs to be named prom queen, and then all of a sudden Spencer gets up and she just calls out Charles' name, and she tells him that they've decided he's going to be the king of prom and that he should come forward and take a picture with Allison. And Aria is standing there holding this little contraption that's supposed to be a camera and flashlight to run out of there when it flashes. So he starts walking up, and then Spencer's like, now! And she hits the button and all the lights explode, and the girls just run for it, and they're running like crazy to try and get out of this creepy dollhouse while all the lights are out and they have time to escape. So then it flashes to the police and Toby and Spencer's parents, everybody running up to the van where they found it, and nobody's in the van, they don't see anybody. And then it shows Spencer's parents as they're walking up to the crime scene, and Spencer's mom looks at her dad and she's just like, this is the old Campbell farm where we used to take the girls apple picking when we were little. So then it flashes back to the girls, and they're running around in this creepy dollhouse trying to get out, and Spencer ends up in a separate room away from everybody, and she's in like A's, I don't know if it's like A's office or A's, I don't even know, A's second lair, I don't know, but it's where A kept everything that was like sentimental to him is what Spencer said, and it's all these framed pictures. And then Spencer sees a projector, and she starts to play the projector, and it's playing back an image of Allison's mother, and she's holding a little baby, and there's two little boys standing around the baby, and Allison just says to the little boys like, oh, come kiss your sister, and you see these two little maybe possibly twin boys standing around the baby, kissing her and laughing, and Spencer's just like, so this is what's important to you. And then you see this creepy, supposedly Charles person walking up behind Spencer, just standing there, and she turns around and she's face to face with him, and we think he's gonna be revealed, his mask is gonna be taken off, and we're gonna know who Charles is. Of course that doesn't happen. So then it flashes again and we see the girls and they're running outside trying to get out of this dollhouse, and they run outside and see these huge fences, and then all of a sudden the power goes back on, and just when the girls are getting ready to climb over the fence, Spencer screams not to, and they see that the power is on and the fences are actually electrical fences, and the girls realize they are still trapped in A's creepy dollhouse and they can't get out, and then this stupid song like "You're All Fenced In" starts playing, and all the girls are just looking around like, ah! And that is how this episode ends. So now onto my theories for what I think is going on. We are aware of the fact now that A has a name, and A's name is Charles, but we still have no idea what Charles looks like. We don't know his backstory. We basically don't know anything besides a name. So I hated the fact that they made it so like, we're gonna know who A is, and then all they told us was his name, and it's kind of like, and Charles is, and that's where they left it, which was kind of irritating to me. But it kind of all makes sense, at least it made sense to me, if after seeing that projector playing that Spencer was seeing with Allison's mom holding the baby and then the two little boys and her saying, come kiss your sister, I think maybe Charles could be Jason's twin, which I am perfectly okay with Jason having a twin because he's so fine. If they want to make two of him, I'm totally okay with that because the boy's gorgeous. So Jason and Charles could be twins. Charles could be Jason's twin. That is one theory, is what's going on. So another theory that I think could be going on is that Andrew could possibly be related to Jason, and that Andrew could be Charles just going by a different name in day-to-day life. So Andrew could really be Charles, and he is actually A and the person that's doing all of this, and he could be revealed as Charles when we actually see the face of who Charles actually is, because when Spencer's mom pulled up to the farm and she said it's Campbell's farm where they took the girls when they were little, Campbell is actually Andrew's last name. He's Andrew Campbell. The girls are at Campbell's farm. It all kinda, you know, it made a little sense to me. Andrew Campbell, Campbell's farm, put it together, you get Charles, you get A. That's a possibility I think might be going on. So something else that leads me to think that maybe Jason did have a twin brother this whole time was, I don't know which season it was, I want to say it was season 2 maybe, where Jason first came back into town and he was staying in their house supposedly alone, and Spencer kept seeing someone in the house, and the whole time they thought it was Ian when Ian was still supposedly A, but maybe Jason was actually keeping his twin brother in the house and he was hiding his twin out there the whole time. So maybe instead of Ian being in the house, it was actually Jason's brother, Jason's twin, supposedly Jason's actual twin. Maybe it could have been Andrew, because Andrew has actually been around on the show, I want to say since season 2 also. So maybe Andrew was actually staying in the house with Jason. They could be brothers, they could be fraternal twins. Jason could be A, and Andrew could be trying to save everybody because he knows Jason is his brother. Because if you look at a picture of Jason and then you look at a picture of Andrew next to each other, they kind of look similar. Like they definitely would be brothers because they're both so fine. That whole family is just fine. Jason and Andrew are so gorgeous. So, you know, maybe they're brothers, maybe they're related, maybe they fall from the same hot tree, who knows? Something else that made me think that this whole Jason has a twin theory is true is because in the episode where Allie is flashing back and she's telling everybody what happened to her the night that she got hit in the head and she disappeared, in that episode Allie's mom says to her, "You never turn your back on a Hastings." And I think she said that because Jason is actually a Hastings because Spencer's father is his father too. So maybe she was saying you never turn your back on a Hastings because it was actually Jason who hit her in the back of the head with a rock, or it was Jason's twin who hit her in the back of the rock, and it'd still be a Hastings because if they're brothers, they're obviously probably, you know, got the same dad, which is Spencer's dad. So never turn your back on Hastings. Maybe that's why she said that. I know in the books that a lot of people were saying that Allison was actually the one that had a twin, and it was her twin that was A. So I think the writers decided to flip the script on us because they know a lot of people read the books and they still wanted there to be that shock factor in everything. So they probably just flipped the script and decided to be like, well, we're going to keep this twin theory going on, but instead of Allison having a twin, we're going to go ahead and make Jason have a twin. And I actually thought that was really smart of the writers to do if that's actually what's going on. But I hope that Charles, when he is unmasked, that it's somebody that we still recognize, because I know a lot of us wanted to see A be somebody that we knew and we watched on the show and we're just like so shocked, like, oh my god, that person is A. And now to find out that that A is somebody named Charles that none of us have ever heard of, I think that's why a lot of people were let down, because we all want it to be somebody we know and we've watched on the show for years. So maybe that's why A's face wasn't revealed. We know their name, but we haven't seen their face. So possibly the face is still going to be somebody we recognize from the show. Possibly Jason, possibly Andrew. None of my other theories make sense now that they said it was Charles. I know I kept thinking that it was Ren a long time ago, but now Ren doesn't make any sense on how he could be Charles, but you never know with the show. So those are all my theories on what I think is going on. I know I am a total rambly mess, but I'm just thinking out loud on who the heck Charles could possibly be. So I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts and theories are on who you think is Charles and what the heck is going on. So if you guys want to leave me all of your thoughts and theories in the comments below, I would love to read them and see what you think is going on with the show. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys liked it, and also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!